They watched Earth for 300 years. They studied human wars. They studied human mistakes. They studied human weakness. And they laughed. In a far corner of the galaxy, the alien race known as the Virex Dominion believed humans were the weakest intelligent species ever discovered. Humans fought each other. Humans polluted their own world. Humans had no united government. To the Virex, Earth looked like easy prey. So they made a decision. Not to destroy Earth, but to enslave it. Suspense built. On a quiet night, every satellite around Earth stopped working. Military radars failed. Internet signals froze. Airplanes lost connection. Then something appeared in the sky. A massive black object. Bigger than a city. Hovering silently above the Pacific Ocean. World leaders panicked. The president of the United Earth Coalition tried to send a message. But before any human could speak, the aliens spoke first. Their voice entered every screen. Every phone. Every device. We are the Virex Dominion. You are now under our control. Shock moment? But here is what the aliens did not understand. Humans fight each other. Yes. But when facing extinction, humans unite. And in a secret underground facility beneath Antarctica, something ancient was activated. Something not built by humans. Something the aliens did not detect. And when the Virex fleet prepared to launch the first strike, a signal was set. Not from Earth, but from deep space. And someone, or something, answered. Cliffhanger end. The aliens thought they were invading a weak species. They had no idea. They had just triggered a chain reaction that would erase their entire civilization. The Virex Dominion did not rush. They were not emotional. They were not afraid. They were sure. From their massive flagship above Earth, Supreme Commander Zareth stood inside a tall crystal chamber. The walls around him showed live images of Earth. Cities, oceans, military bases, power plants. He studied humans like insects under glass. Primitive, he said calmly. Below the flagship, panic spread across the planet. Governments tried to restart satellites. Military commanders shouted orders. Fighter jets launched into the sky. Missiles were prepared. But the alien ship did not move. It did not fire. It did not react. The Virex had already shut down Earth's weapons systems with a silent energy wave. Nuclear silos were locked. Defense networks were blind. Humanity was exposed. Inside the Pentagon, General Marcus Hale watched the giant black shape on the main screen. They're just hovering, one officer whispered. That's the worst part, Hale replied. The aliens were not attacking. They were waiting. And waiting creates fear. Back on the alien flagship, Zareth turned to his advisors. Send ground units, he ordered. Within minutes, smaller ships detached from the main vessel. They entered Earth's atmosphere like falling stars. But they did not crash. They slowed down and landed in major cities across the world. New York, Beijing, London, Moscow, Delhi. Each landing was perfect. Controlled. Silent. People ran. Cars crashed. Phones recorded everything. From the alien ships, tall armored figures stepped out. 7 feet tall. Dark silver armor. Glowing blue eyes. They carried strange weapons that hummed with energy. But they did not shoot. Not yet. One of them walked into Times Square. Cameras streamed the moment live before the signal cut. The alien raised its hand. A beam of light shot into the sky. And suddenly, every screen in the world turned on again. The alien spoke. We will not destroy you, the voice echoed in perfect English. You will serve. Across Earth, fear turned into anger. Humans had faced threats before. Wars. Terror. Plagues. But this was different. This was humiliation. In Antarctica, far below the ice, inside a hidden underground base, red warning lights flashed. Dr. Elena Voss looked at the large circular machine in the center of the chamber. It was not human technology. It had been discovered 10 years ago under deep ice. No one knew who built it. No one knew why it was there. But one thing was clear. It was not from Earth. And now, for the first time, it was active. Strange symbols glowed across its surface. Energy pulses moved through its rings. It's responding to them, one scientist said nervously. Or it's responding to us, Elena replied. A signal was coming from space. The machine was answering. Back in orbit, the Virex ships began collecting resources. Water from oceans. Data from satellites. Human DNA samples. They moved fast. Cold. Efficient. Commander Zareth watched the reports. Resistance level? He asked. Minimal, his officer replied. Human weapons ineffective. Zareth nodded. As expected. But then something changed. A small red warning symbol appeared on his display. Unknown transmission detected, a technician said. Zareth turned. From where? The technician hesitated. Not from Earth. The bridge fell silent. The signal was powerful, ancient, and it was not using Virex technology. It was older. Much older. In Antarctica, the machine's energy grew stronger. Ice above the base began to crack. Elena held onto a control panel. This thing is sending coordinates, she said. Coordinates to what? A soldier asked. She looked at the screen. Not to Earth. Above the Pacific Ocean, the massive Virex flagship suddenly shook. Just once. A small vibration. Zareth grabbed the edge of his command platform. What was that? No impact detected, an officer reported. No attack detected. Another vibration. Stronger. Then alarms filled the ship. Energy surge approaching. Source unknown. Outside the flagship, space itself seemed to bend. Stars around the ship flickered. A dark circular shape began forming a few thousand kilometers away. Like a hole opening in reality. The Virex had seen wormholes before. They had created them. But this was different. This one was not controlled. It was not stable. And it was not theirs. On Earth, people looked up. Even through the daylight sky, something was visible. A shadow in space. Growing. Spreading. Social media exploded again. What is that? Is that another alien ship? Are they fighting? Military stations detected massive gravitational waves. Earthquakes began near coastlines. Oceans moved strangely. Something huge was coming through. On the Virex flagship, panic started to grow. This energy signature. It matches the transmission we intercepted. Commander Zareth felt something he had not felt in centuries. Uncertainty. Can we close the portal? He demanded. No, Commander. It is not our technology. The dark circle expanded. And from inside it, a massive shape began to emerge. Larger than the Virex flagship. Covered in ancient symbols. Its surface looked damaged. Scarred. Like it had survived endless wars. It did not send a message. It did not announce itself. It simply appeared. And it aimed directly at the Virex fleet. In Antarctica, the machine suddenly shut down. The lights faded. The symbols disappeared. Elena stared at the silent device. It called them, she whispered. Who? The soldier asked. She looked up slowly. Whoever built this. Back in orbit, the unknown ship fired. A single beam of white energy crossed space. It hit one Virex destroyer. The ship vanished. Not exploded. Not broken. Gone. As if erased from existence. The Virex fleet broke formation. Alarms screamed. Retreat, one officer shouted. But it was too late. More beams fired. One by one Virex ships disappeared. Commander Zareth stared at the screen in disbelief. This species was primitive, he whispered. No advanced defense. No united military. He finally understood. Humans were weak. But they were not alone. The unknown warship turned slowly. It did not attack Earth. It did not speak to humans. Instead, it sent a direct signal to the Virex flagship. Zareth's screen translated the message. One short sentence. You were warned. Zareth's eyes widened. Warned by who? He whispered. But there was no answer. Only another beam of light forming outside. And this time, it was aimed at him. On Earth, billions watched as the alien flagship began to glow. Cracks of light spread across its surface. And for the first time since arriving, the Virex Dominion felt fear. The species they thought was weak had just destroyed their entire invasion fleet. But the real question was not who saved Earth. The real question was, what price would humanity pay for calling them? Rocket. The Virex flagship was dying. Cracks of white light spread across its dark surface like lightning frozen in metal. Inside the command bridge, Commander Zareth held onto his control platform as the entire ship shook. Emergency warp, he shouted. Warp engines offline. Shields failing. Another beam of white energy struck the side of the flagship. This time the ship did not vanish. It screamed. A deep metal sound echoed across space. On Earth, every telescope, every space station, every surviving satellite recorded the moment. The alien ship that came to enslave humanity was losing. Inside the unknown ancient warship, there was no panic. No loud alarms. Only silence. Its surface glowed softly with old symbols. It moved slowly like a giant predator that did not need to rush. It knew it was stronger. On Earth, governments were confused. Who is that second ship? Are they friendly? Are we in the middle of a war? General Marcus Hale stood inside a military bunker watching the battle in space. They're not attacking Earth, he said quietly. That means one thing. They're not here to conquer. But they're not here to help either. In Antarctica, Dr. Elena Voss stared at the ancient machine. It was completely dark now. Cold. Silent. Like it had finished its job. You knew this would happen, a soldier said. Elena did not answer immediately. 10 years ago, when they found the machine under the ice, there were markings near it. Burned into stone walls. The translation had taken years. Only one sentence was clear. If attacked, call the Watchers. At the time they did not understand. Now they did. The Watchers had arrived. Back in orbit, the Virex flagship tried to escape. Small escape pods launched from its sides. But the ancient warship fired again. Precise. Controlled. Each shot erased another section of the Virex fleet. Commander Zareth felt something he had never felt before. Defeat. We miscalculated, he whispered. Humans are under protection. An officer turned toward him. Protection from who, Commander? Zareth looked at the massive shape outside. His voice lowered. From something older than us. On Earth, people began cheering. Videos spread across every screen. The invaders were being destroyed. Cities that were occupied by Virex ground soldiers suddenly saw something strange. The alien soldiers stopped moving. Their glowing blue eyes faded. Their weapons shut down. They fell to the ground like lifeless statues. Their ships powered off. The connection to the flagship was gone. The invasion was collapsing. Human soldiers cautiously approached the fallen aliens. No resistance. No movement. The most powerful alien army humanity had ever seen was finished in less than an hour. In space, the final beam hit the Virex flagship. For a second, everything froze. Then the giant black ship began to disappear. Not explode. Not burn. Disappear. Like dust in strong wind. Commander Zareth looked at the screen one last time. He whispered something in his own language. Maybe a warning. Maybe a regret. Then he was gone. The Virex Dominion fleet had vanished. Silence filled space. The ancient warship did not celebrate. It did not send messages. It simply stayed there. Floating. Watching Earth. Watching the planet it had just saved. Inside World Government Headquarters, leaders gathered urgently. Should we send a message? One asked. What if they attack next? Another said. General Hale spoke calmly. They had the power to destroy Earth in seconds. They didn't. That tells us something. But what? In Antarctica, Elena felt uneasy. Yes, they protected us, a scientist said happily. We're safe. Elena shook her head slowly. No. They answered a call. That means there was an agreement. The room became quiet. What kind of agreement? The soldier asked. Elena looked at the machine again. Protection is never free. Back in orbit, the ancient warship finally moved. Slowly it turned toward Earth. Its surface symbols began glowing brighter than before. Energy levels increased. Every human radar system detected it. It's charging something, a technician shouted. Panic returned instantly. Are they targeting us? No weapon lock detected. Then what are they doing? Across the world, every screen turned on again. Just like before. But this time the signal was different. Clear. Ancient. A voice spoke. Not loud, but powerful. Earth. The word echoed in every language at once. We have fulfilled the pact. Governments froze. People stopped breathing. The voice continued. Your world was marked long ago. Under Watcher protection. Elena whispered, marked? The voice went on. Protection requires balance. Balance requires service. The room in Antarctica became cold. What service? Elena said quietly. As if the voice could hear her. The answer came immediately. When called, humanity will answer. The symbols on the warship glowed one final time. Then a beam of light shot down toward Antarctica. Not destructive. Not violent. It hit the ice above the hidden base. For a second, the entire continent glowed. Then everything stopped. The warship turned. A portal opened behind it. Just like before. Dark. Massive. Silent. The Watcher's ship entered the portal. And disappeared. Space returned to normal. The sky was empty again. Across Earth, silence spread. The Virex were gone. The Watchers were gone. The invasion was over. But nothing felt normal. Because now humanity knew something terrifying. They were not weak. They were not alone. And they were not free. In Antarctica, the ancient machine powered on again. But this time, new symbols appeared. Not a warning. Not a defense signal. A countdown. Elena stared at the numbers. Her face turned pale. How long? The soldier asked. She answered in a soft voice. Not years. Not decades. Months. Humanity had been saved. But now a timer was running. The Watchers had protected Earth. So, they would come to collect their payment. Rocket the world should have been celebrating. The alien fleet was gone. The cities were safe. The skies were clear. But nobody felt peace. Because deep under the ice of Antarctica, a timer was running. Dr. Elena Voss stood in front of the ancient machine. The glowing numbers were simple. No symbols. No alien language. Just a countdown in human format. 178 days. That was all. What happens when it reaches zero? A young scientist asked. Elena did not answer. Because she did not know. And that scared her more than the invasion. News of the countdown was kept secret at first. Only top world leaders were informed. Emergency meetings began immediately. In Washington. In Beijing. In Moscow. In New Delhi. The message from the Watchers was replayed again and again. When called, humanity will answer. What does that mean? A president asked. Military service? Another guessed. Resource tribute? Technology exchange? General Marcus Hale spoke slowly. They didn't ask. They told. Silence filled the room. Across the planet, strange changes began. It started small. Satellites detected unknown signals at the edge of the solar system. Not ships. Not weapons. Just signals. Watching. Scanning. Observing. The Watchers had left. But something was still there. In Antarctica, the machine changed again. New symbols appeared around the countdown. Dr. Elena studied them carefully. Their coordinates, she said. Coordinates to where? A soldier asked. She zoomed in on the screen. Her heart slowed. They're not in our solar system. The room went quiet. One of the scientists whispered, they want us to go there. Around the world, military scientists worked day and night. Human technology was advanced. But not advanced enough. The Virex fleet had shown that clearly. Earth did not have ships that could travel far outside the solar system. Not safely. Not fast. Certainly not in 178 days. Then something unexpected happened. Recovered Virex ships began to power on. Without warning. In storage facilities across Earth, captured alien ships activated. Lights turned on. Engines hummed softly. No one touched them. No one commanded them. General Hale received the report immediately. Is it an attack? He asked. No, the technician replied. They're uploading something. Uploading what? Star maps. In Antarctica, Elena's screen flashed. The same star maps appeared on the ancient machine. Highlighted in bright white light. The destination matched the coordinates in the countdown. The Watchers were not just demanding service. They were providing transportation. Fear spread quietly through world governments. This is forced recruitment, one leader said. They saved us just to use us, another replied. General Hale folded his hands. They could have taken us by force. They didn't. Maybe they need volunteers. Elena heard that message during a secure call. She shook her head. Or maybe they want to test us. Weeks passed. The countdown dropped to 150 days. Then 140. Public pressure grew. Rumors leaked online. People saw strange activity around military bases. They saw alien ships being repaired. They saw rockets being launched at night. Finally, the truth came out. The United Earth Coalition made a public announcement. The invasion. The Watchers. The countdown. The future mission. The world reacted with shock. Some people felt pride. Aliens had protected Earth. That meant humans were important. Others felt fear. What if we don't go? What if this is a trap? What if we never come back? In Antarctica, Elena finally translated a new symbol that appeared beside the timer. Was not a word. Was a number. 100. She froze. What does that mean? The soldier asked. It means, they don't want all of us. How many? She swallowed slowly. 100 humans. The message spread quickly to world leaders. Only 100 representatives. Not armies. Not billions. Just 100. Scientists. Soldiers. Engineers. Doctors. Strategists. The best of humanity. Chosen to answer the call. The countdown reached 120 days. Training began. Volunteers came from every country. Some wanted adventure. Some wanted to protect Earth. Some believed this was humanity's next step. Others said it was suicide. Families cried. Friends argued. Religions debated. But one thing was clear. Earth had no choice. If they ignored the Watchers, what would happen next time an enemy came? Would anyone answer the call? One night, Elena stood alone in the Antarctic base. The machine glowed softly. The timer now showed 102 days. She placed her hand on the cold metal surface. "Why us?" she whispered. The machine responded. Not with sound, but with an image. A projection appeared in the air. It showed ancient battles in space. Massive fleets fighting. Planets burning. Civilizations collapsing. Then one image zoomed closer. A distant future. Earth destroyed. Not by the Watchers. By something worse. Elena stepped back. "What is that?" she breathed. A final symbol appeared under the image. She translated it slowly. Approaching. At the same moment, deep in space, far beyond Pluto, something moved. It was not a Watcher ship. It was not Virex. It was larger, darker, hungry, and it was heading toward the solar system. Back on Earth, the countdown reached double digits. 99 days. Humanity now understood. The Watchers did not save Earth because they were kind. They saved Earth because they needed allies. Because something was coming. Something even they were preparing for. And the only species they had marked under protection was humanity. The Virex thought humans were weak. They were wrong. The Watchers thought humans were useful. They might also be wrong. As soon, 100 humans would leave Earth. Not as victims. Not as slaves. But as warriors. And in deep space, something was already waiting. Rocket. The countdown showed 75 days. Time was moving fast. Across Earth, 100 names were being chosen. Not by one country. Not by one leader. But together. Every nation sent their best. Scientists, pilots, engineers, doctors, cyber experts, strategists, even one historian. Because if humanity was stepping into the stars, they needed more than weapons. They needed understanding. In a secure base near the Pacific Ocean, the chosen candidates arrived one by one. They came from different cultures, different languages, different beliefs. Some were calm. Some were afraid. Some tried to hide their fear. But all of them knew the truth. This mission had no guarantee of return. Dr. Elena Voss walked into the training hall. She had been selected too. Not as a soldier. Not as a fighter. But as the only person who understood the ancient machine. When she saw the 100 standing together for the first time, she felt something unexpected. Hope. They were young and old. Men and women. From every continent. Humanity in one room. General Marcus Hale addressed them. "You are not soldiers of one nation," he said. "You are representatives of Earth. You are the answer to the Watchers." The room stayed silent. "We do not know what waits for you," Hale continued. "But we know one thing. If we do nothing, Earth stands alone." Training began immediately. Recovered Virex ships were upgraded using human technology. The ships were powerful, fast, stronger than anything Earth had built before. But they were not easy to control. Virex controls were designed for different hands, different minds. Human engineers worked day and night to change them. Every day the ships became more human, more familiar, more ready. The countdown showed 60 days. During a test flight, something strange happened. One of the ships suddenly received a signal. Not from Earth. Not from the Watchers. From deep space. The same direction Elena had seen in the projection. The approaching threat. The signal lasted only 3 seconds. But it was enough. It was not language. It was not code. It was a sound. Full. Heavy. Like something breathing. Watching. Waiting. Back in Antarctica, the ancient machine reacted. Its surface turned dark red for the first time. Elena stared at it. "That's not Watcher energy," she said. "It's something else." The soldier beside her asked quietly, "Is it closer?" She checked the readings. Her face turned pale. Yes. The countdown showed 45 days. Public support for the mission grew. People across the world sent messages to the 100. Children sent drawings of spaceships. Families sent videos of encouragement. Some messages were simple. Come back safe. Others were serious. Protect Earth. The 100 watched these messages together. It made the mission real. It made the risk heavier. One night, Elena could not sleep. She walked outside the base. Above her, the stars were bright. Somewhere out there were the Watchers. And somewhere else was the approaching darkness. General Hale joined her. You think we're ready? He asked. She answered honestly. No. He nodded. Good. She looked at him. Good? If we felt ready for something like this, he said, we would not be human. The countdown showed 30 days. Then something happened that changed everything. Deep space sensors detected movement. Not near Pluto. Closer. Much closer. The unknown object had increased speed. It was not drifting. It was coming directly toward the inner solar system. Panic spread through world governments. We don't have 30 days, one leader said. Can we launch early? Another asked. Engineers worked fast. Ships were almost ready. Almost. But not fully. Inside the training hall, alarms sounded. The 100 gathered. A large screen showed the incoming object. It was massive. Larger than the Watcher ship. But it did not look mechanical. It looked alive. Its surface moved slowly. Like skin. Like muscle. Like something breathing in space. Silence filled the room. Elena whispered, that's what I saw. The ancient machine in Antarctica began counting faster. Not days. Hours. It had changed the countdown. 72 hours remaining. The Watchers had adjusted the time. They knew. They were watching. A final message arrived from deep space. Clear. Cold. Simple. From the Watchers. Prepare. That was all. No comfort. No promise. Just one word. The 100 boarded the ships. Families were not allowed near the launch area. Goodbyes were sent through screens. Tears were hidden. Fear was controlled. As the engines powered up, General Hale spoke one last time. You are not going as servants. You are not going as victims. You are going as equals. Show them who humanity really is. The sky above Earth lit up as 10 Virex human hybrid ships launched together. They moved fast, breaking through the atmosphere, heading toward the edge of the solar system, toward the Watchers, toward the coming darkness. Behind them, Earth looked peaceful, low, small, fragile. Ahead of them, space was not empty anymore. The massive living object was now visible without long-range sensors. It was changing direction, adjusting its path, as if it had noticed them. Inside her ship, Elena watched the readings carefully. Her heart beat slowly but steady. She spoke softly. It sees us. One of the pilots asked, is that good or bad? She looked at the screen. The creature in space had started to open. Large cracks across its surface, glowing from inside, like a mouth preparing to speak, or to consume. The 100 had left Earth to answer the Watcher's call. But now they understood the truth. They were not flying toward allies. They were flying toward a war. And the enemy was already awake. Rocket. The 100 ships moved in formation. 10 ships, each carrying 10 humans. They had crossed Mars. They had passed Jupiter. Now they were near the edge of the solar system. And the enemy was no longer far away. It filled the front screens. Massive. Alive. Its surface moved slowly like deep water. Dark lines crossed its body like veins. And inside those veins, red light flowed. Dr. Elena Voss stood behind the pilot's seat. She could not look away. It's slowing down, the pilot said. Or waiting, another replied. Suddenly, every system inside the ships flickered. Lights dimmed. Engines lost power for 1 second. Then came back. On every screen, one image appeared. A single red eye. Not physical. Not real. But projected into their systems. Watching them. A voice entered the ships. Not through speakers. Inside their heads. Cold. Heavy. You are small. Several crew members grabbed their heads. The voice was not loud. But it felt deep. Like pressure inside the skull. Captain Amir Rahman, leader of the mission, forced himself to speak. This is the United Earth mission. Identify yourself. Silence. Then the voice returned. We consume civilizations. Images flashed in their minds. Planets breaking apart. Ships crushed. Stars covered in darkness. It was not showing threats. It was showing history. On Earth, Mission Control received weak signals. They saw energy spikes near the 100. They saw the living object expand. General Hale stood frozen. Tell me they're still alive, he said. They're alive, the technician answered. But something is interfering with communication. Back near the edge of the solar system, the Watchers finally appeared. A massive portal opened behind the 100 ships. The ancient warship came through. Silent. Come. Its symbols glowing bright white. It placed itself between the 100 and the living darkness. The red eye shifted. Focused on the Watchers. The voice returned. You protect the marked species. The Watchers answered for the first time since leaving Earth. Their voice was calm. Balance must remain. The darkness responded instantly. Balance will end. Without warning, the living mass attacked. Large tendrils shot forward, moving faster than expected. One tendril hit a Watcher escort ship that had just appeared from the portal. The ship cracked. Not exploded. Cracked like glass. Then it broke into pieces. The 100 watched in shock. The Watchers were not invincible. Captain Amir made a decision. All ships, defensive positions. Human ships moved forward. Not backward. Forward. Elena felt fear in her chest. But also something stronger. If this thing destroyed the Watchers, Earth would be next. Human ships fired first. Blue energy beams shot from their weapons. They hit the surface of the living darkness. For a second nothing happened. Then small burns appeared. Tiny. But real. It can be hurt, a gunner shouted. The red eye narrowed. The voice changed. Not calm now. Curious. You resist. Another tendril shot toward the human ships. One ship moved too slow. The tendril wrapped around it. Crushing metal. Screams filled the communication channel. Elena grabbed the console. Cut engines. Overload outer shields. The trapped ship followed the command. Its shield exploded outward in a shockwave. The tendril released. The damaged ship drifted but stayed intact. Cheers filled the channel. Humans were adapting. Learning. Fighting back. The Watcher warship fired its main weapon. A massive white beam struck the center of the darkness. This time the enemy reacted strongly. Its surface opened wider. A deep red core became visible inside. Beating. Like a heart. The voice returned. Threat level increasing. It began pulling energy from nearby space. Stars seemed to dim slightly. Energy gathered around it. Captain Amir realized something. It's charging. For what? Someone asked. Elena answered quietly. For something big. On Earth, telescopes detected the same energy buildup. Scientists panicked. If that energy releases toward the inner solar system, they won't just destroy ships, another said. They'll burn planets. General Hale clenched his fists. Hold the line, he whispered even though they could not hear him. Back in battle, human ships regrouped. They focused fire on the exposed red core. Blue beams struck again and again. The darkness reacted violently. Tendrils moved wildly. Another human ship was hit. Half destroyed. But before it could be crushed, a Watcher ship blocked the attack. Sacrificing itself. For humans. Elena saw it clearly. The Watchers were not using humans as shields. They were fighting beside them. The red core pulsed faster. Energy reached critical levels. The voice became unstable. You are delaying the inevitable. Captain Amir looked at his crew. We're not here to win, he said. We're here to stop it from reaching Earth. Elena suddenly understood. It feeds on advanced civilizations, she said. It gets stronger each time. If it reaches Earth, we won't just lose a planet. We'll make it stronger. The Watcher warship sent a direct signal to the 100. A single message. Target core. All power. Human ships did not hesitate. Engines diverted power to weapons. Shields weakened. They failed now. There would be nothing left. The red core opened fully. Blinding light built inside it. Space around them shook. Time felt slower. Every human ship fired together. Every weapon. Every ounce of energy. Blue beams merged into one massive strike. The Watcher warship added its white beam to the attack. The combined energy hit the red core directly. For a second, nothing. Then a crack appeared across the core. A deep, splitting sound echoed through space. The voice screamed. Not words. Just sound. The core shattered. A massive shockwave exploded outward. Ships were thrown in every direction. Systems failed. Screens went dark. Silence filled the battlefield. When emergency power returned, Elena slowly opened her eyes. Stars were visible again. Normal. Bright. The massive living darkness was gone. Not destroyed completely, but broken into small drifting fragments. Lifeless. The Watcher warship remained. Damaged, but standing. Out of 10 human ships, 7 were still operational. 3 were lost. 30 lives gone. The Watchers sent one final message. Balance restored. Then they added something new. Something unexpected. You fought as equals. The enemy was defeated. Earth was safe. But the 100 now understood something important. The universe was not empty. It was full of hunters. And now, humanity had been noticed. Rocket. Space was quiet again. The broken pieces of the dark enemy floated slowly near the edge of the solar system. 7 human ships remained. Damaged, scarred, but alive. Inside the lead ship, Captain Amir Rahman looked at the empty space where the monster once existed. "It's over?" one pilot asked softly. Dr. Elena Voss checked the readings again. "No life signs," she said. "No energy build-up." She took a slow breath. "It's over." On Earth, the signal finally became clear. Mission control screens showed the surviving ships. People around the world held their breath. General Marcus Hale stood still as the communication returned. Captain Amir's face appeared on the screen. He looked tired. Older. Changed. "It's done," Amir said. For a few seconds the world stayed silent. Then Earth exploded with sound. Cheering. Crying. Celebrating. Humanity had faced something ancient. And survived. Near the battlefield, the Watcher warship remained still. Its once bright symbols were now dim. Parts of its outer structure were damaged. It had protected Earth once. Now it had fought beside humans. The ancient voice spoke one final time. "Humanity has fulfilled the pact." Elena stepped closer to the communication system. "And now?" she asked carefully. There was a pause. A long one. "As agreed, Earth remains under protection." Relief filled the ship. But the Watcher voice continued. "However, protection has changed." Captain Amir exchanged a look with Elena. "What does that mean?" he asked. The answer came clearly. "You are no longer protected because you are weak." Another pause. "You are protected because you are necessary." Back on Earth, leaders listened carefully. Necessary. That word changed everything. The Watcher warship slowly turned. A large portal opened behind it again. Before entering, it sent one last transmission. Not only to the 100, not only to Earth, but far beyond. Across deep space. A signal powerful enough for other civilizations to detect. The message was simple. Earth stands. That was all. But in the language of advanced species, it meant something much bigger. It meant, do not invade, do not test, do not underestimate. Weeks later, the 100 returned home. Their ships entered Earth's atmosphere slowly, burn marks visible on the metal. Cities below watched in silence. When the ships landed, there were no loud parades at first. Only families running forward. Tears. Tight hugs. 30 did not return. 70 did. But none of them were the same. They had seen what existed in the dark. They had fought beside beings older than human history. And they had survived. In Antarctica, the ancient machine powered down completely. Its surface turned gray. Dead. Its job was finished. Dr. Elena stood in front of it one last time. "No more countdown," the soldier beside her said. She nodded. "They won't call us again." "How do you know?" She looked toward the sky. "Because next time, we won't wait to be called." Months passed. Humanity changed. World governments stayed united. Not perfectly, but better than before. Military forces became one global defense system. Space programs expanded faster than ever. The recovered Virex ships became the base for a new human fleet. This time not for invasion. For protection. For exploration. For readiness. Because now humanity knew the truth. The universe was not peaceful. It was watching. Far beyond the solar system, small alien civilizations detected the Watcher message. Earth stands. Some species checked old records. They saw the destruction of the Virex fleet. They saw the fall of the Dark Consumer. They saw human ships fighting. A new line was added to many galactic databases. Species human. Status, protected, combat capable. Threat level, rising. Back on Earth, Captain Amir visited a quiet hill outside the city. Elena joined him. They looked up at the night sky. It looked peaceful. But they both knew better. "We lost 30, Amir said quietly. Elena nodded. "But we saved billions." He gave a small smile. "They thought we were weak." She smiled back. "Everyone does." In deep space, one small fragment of the destroyed darkness drifted silently. Cold. Inactive. But not completely gone. Inside it, a tiny spark of red light flickered once. Very faint. Very weak. Then darkness again. For now. On Earth, a new human warship was completed 1 year later. It was not Virex design. Not Watcher design. It was fully human. Built from lessons learned. Built from sacrifice. On its side, a single sentence was written. Earth stands. Final words, strong ending for video. The Virex believed humans were divided. They were right. The Watchers believed humans were useful. They were right. The darkness believed humans were small. It was wrong. Because when humanity stands together, it does not matter how big the enemy is. It does not matter how old the threat is. Humans adapt. Humans endure. Humans fight. And now, the galaxy knows. Earth stands. Rocket fire.